Well, good morning. So glad you are joining me again today. Welcome to the NeedleBugg, and my name is Karen. And before we get started, first, I owe you all an apology. This is going to be a bit of a redo, update kind of thing on the last Book of Knowledge video, which was joining pieces of linen in a decorative fashion. And I misspoke. So I am here today to correct the error of my ways. The second thing I want to apologize for is I have been made aware that the sound on the last few videos was a bit sketchy. Um, that was not on YouTube's end. That was on my end. And in looking at my computer this morning and my software this morning, I'm found that things were not set the way they should have been. And even though I thought my microphone was close enough, it really wasn't. That was one issue. However, now that the sound is set correctly, that should not be a problem. I should not have to have the microphone right up in my face, because I'm seeing right now that my sound is up into the yellow and sometimes the red. So hopefully this is loud enough that you can all hear me. If it's too loud, please let me know so that I can back it down a little bit. And like I said, I appreciate all your feedback, because it's technology, my friends, technology. So anyway, now down to work here. I misinformed you yesterday on the number of times you fold over your linen to make these joins. Okay, now I have it pinned together here, so I am going to take this apart just to show you. You do not need to fold it twice. One fold is an elegant sufficiency, because you're hiding that raw edge within this fold. So you pull your threads on both sides. And it makes it easier if you press this with an iron before you start joining things. And then it's just a matter of laying one inside the other. See, one inside the other. When my hands work, folding it over, and I'm just going to pin this. If when you're actually doing it, I would suggest basting it so that you keep things lined up. Well, why don't I just baste it real quick? Okay, so I would just run a bit of a basting thread. And in this case, you can just go down the center. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just want to keep things in place so that you can do your hem stitching along both sides. Now on this particular one, for demonstration, I pulled 5 threads on this side. I pulled 5 threads on this side. And when you're turning under your raw edge, I would make sure that you're turning both sides an equal amount so that this lays flat. Okay, now if you remember yesterday, right here was the issue. Because I had it folded too many times. I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably thinking more of, I'm just going to hem stitch the two together and not join this third one. And in that case, it would have been fine. However, if we want to join something on this lower edge, that's way too much. So by doing it twice, you get a much flatter join here. Now I want to show you this, And this is up to you whether you do it or not. You can, but you don't have to, because it would be flat enough without. But what I tried was this. I trimmed away the one side of this fold. So see where it's folded? Okay. I trimmed out this one section. Now, when you do that, be careful not to go too far onto this hem, because that will show on the front if you have it put together in a manner that, because here you can see I went a smidge too far, and when I put this together, that's going to show on the front because my interlocking of these two pieces is going to be on this side. Okay, so that when I flip it over, you're going to see that. So be careful not to trim it too far, but you don't have to, but you can trim that part out. And then, let me see, I'm just gonna, this gets a little, a little fiddly till you get these together. There we go. And I would say, my other suggestion is, when you're putting your initial two pieces together, which would be these, make sure that your pulled threads line up. And when you're putting this together, here we go. Okay, so now what I would do is just, of course, we take another piece of thread, but I'm just gonna run a basting line along here just to have it together for you guys. Okay. Now, I think you can already see how much flatter that is. And it will make a much nicer join. Now, of course, I would baste down this side too, but I just wanted to, give you an idea. And then you could go back before you join this lower piece. In here, you can continue to do your hem stitching if you so choose. However, I mean, you don't have to. It's up to you. And then you're going to hem stitch, of course, along here and along here to join these. Yeah, and you can even go in between here. Okay. So, like I said, I did want to correct the error of my ways. I wanted to tell you how to take the bulk out of this so that if you are joining pieces that, say you have four squares that you want to join into one large piece, this is how you could do that. You don't have to. You can use the other technique for joining linen if you so desire. But this is a decorative option that is out there for you if you so choose to use that. So I just thought I would present it to you. You can use if you wish. If you don't, that's okay too. But you have the knowledge and you have a place to come and reference it should you decide that this is something that you want to try. There was another gal who had asked me, Jean Farish shows how to finish off your edges doing a nun stitch. And you certainly could, if you were, I'm just thinking out loud here. You could fold your fabric under like we did to join this. Maybe not pull the threads out and here at this, where they join, do a nun stitch across both sides to join them. That's certainly an option. I have not done that. I've not tried that at all, but it's certainly something that I would take 2 scrap pieces of linen or whatever fabric you're using and experiment and see how that works. I'm sure if you Google on the internet of decorative joins for linen, you're going to find a whole lot of ways that you can put your fabric together and decorate this. I mean, there's even some out there where I already have this basted, but we'll pretend this is another piece where you're taking one piece and you're taking this second piece and you're actually decorating in between. And that is what's joining them, is the decorative stitches in between. So that is also out there. That I would have to research a little bit. Personally, I have not done that, but it's certainly an option, and I would be willing to experiment with it and give it a try and do a video if that's something that you're interested in. Just let me know. Again, my apologies for leading you astray. Hopefully this will correct this join of linen, and the sound, hopefully it is fixed now, and if it's still needs tweaking, please let me know so that I can do that. I don't want my videos where my voice is fading out or it's way too loud or whatever, so let me know so that I can fix it. I want it to be right for all of you. So with that, my friends, I'm going to say farewell. Again, my apologies for leading you astray. Hopefully this will clear things up for you. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will be happy to answer them and get back to you as soon as I can. And remember, there's no rules in cross stitch, only the ones you make for yourself. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will probably see you maybe alive over the weekend, if not next week. Take care.